Hey everyone, so this is just a simple makeup tutorial, kind of like what I would do every day, or something that's just a little easier to do than like the full like trad goth makeup, just like keeping it simple, keeping it still dark and still all of those elements, but a little bit easier to follow, a little bit more like baby bat friendly. So I already did my skin prep, I already did all of that, I did my eyebrows, so we're gonna start with the base. So I'm just mixing 2 pumps of the white foundation with 1 pump of the my shade foundation, and I'm going to mix those two together on the back of my hand, and then using a makeup brush, you can use any brush, you can use a sponge, I'm just going to start buffing it onto my face. And you can see that it's like not necessarily like pure white, but it's still pale enough. Next, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and it's literally just this one. It's like $3, so you get the pure white color. Make sure you get the pure white one and not the one that's shimmery, because this is going to be going under the eyes, and anywhere else you might want a little more highlight or coverage. So I use the white to carve out my eyebrows. However, if your skin is a little darker, I would recommend using a very light shade of cool toned concealer instead of pure white, because it might look a little off. But for lighter shades, I would say using the white is probably fine. One thing that I'd like to note is that with lighter bases, your skin texture is going to show a lot more. So if I zoom in, you're going to see that there's bumps in my skin because I naturally have acne, I have bad skin, so you're going to see that. Those undetectable white bases are usually filters. Lighter base will make all of your, I guess, imperfections, it's normal, more visible, but like, I promise you, no one cares. It's normal. So on a powder puff, I'm going to be taking the loose setting powder by W7 on Amazon. If you look up white setting powder, it'll show up. This one works great. I personally love it. You can also use a powder that is your shade. However, I just want to look a little paler, so I'm going to be using this one. Generally, I don't bake too heavily. However, I always set under my eyes just so that it doesn't really like crease too bad as the day goes on, especially if your eyelids are prone to creasing. Basically, transfer everything you do from your regular makeup, if you wear a full face as is, and take those techniques and transfer them onto goth makeup that you're doing, because it is still a heavy base, it is still a full face, and all of those things are going to be done to help make your makeup last the whole day. For the rest of my face, besides my under eyes, I'm literally just tapping it into my skin like that, and you don't want to use too much because you're pressing it directly into your skin, so you're literally just gonna kind of blend it out sort of with the sponge until it looks matte enough for your liking. I think now's a good point to mention that if you are wearing the clothes that you're wearing for the rest of the day, put something over it. Like I have this hoodie over my final outfit so that the loose powder doesn't get everywhere and make it look like you got attacked by an entire pound of flour. I would say let this sit for like a minute or two before you go ahead and brush it off with a large powder brush. Next, I'm just going to take my large powder brush and literally just brush off the bake. If you typically wear a full face of makeup, you know this step, you know what to do, but if not, you're literally just going to kind of dust it like that. You don't want to go too hard because you don't want to slide the product around and remove the product underneath and ruin all of your hard work up until this point. So you're just going to kind of brush all of the excess until your base looks nice and smooth. Now comes time for the fun part, contour. So for contour, there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. You can do something a little more cutesy, you could do something a little more angular, kind of like Susie Sue, how she has like the angular lines. You could do whatever really you want with this step. If you know how to contour already, you could just do your regular contour. You could do something a little sharper. Personally, I prefer something a bit softer and a little more, I guess, traditional contour as opposed to like trad goth like contour placement. But that's just my personal preference. However, I do a heavy nose contour, so I'm going to be showing my tutorial for that as well. I'm using this Cool Tone Contour by Kyda, and I love it because it's an actual contour, not just a repackaged bronzer. So for looks like this, you want to use something cool toned, otherwise you're just going to look bronzed but with very pale skin, and it's going to look a little out of place. For your cheekbones, you don't want to start beneath your cheekbone, you want to start on your cheekbone so that by the time you're done blending, it goes under your cheekbones and sculpts you like this. Just like that, so that kind of you want to like suck in your face like a little bit like that so you can see where your cheekbones naturally go, and then use that as a guideline to where to place your contour. For jawline, you want to put it right where your jaw starts and ends, so just the end of your face there, and you want to blend it down your neck so you don't have a harsh line. If the lines are looking a little too harsh for your liking, you can go back in with that same powder brush, and you can literally just kind of soften it out until it looks the way you want it to. I prefer my looks with no blush, however, if you're going for something a little more romantic, you can place your blush right above the contour right there. For the nose contour, I'm going to go in with that same kyda contour, and it comes with a little mirror, which I love because I'm like all up close when I'm doing my nose contour, and it comes with a brush. So I'm going to be using the brush that comes with it. However, you can use whichever brush you like, as long as it's thin enough to get your contour precise. So I start off light-handed generally, and I build my way up just to prevent myself from like having that really, really harsh line to the point where it just looks like you took 2 markers and went crazy on your nose. So what you're going to do is you're literally just going to repeat the same motions to get the desired shape that you want, and kind of bring them closer and closer together to the middle of your nose, like this part. I don't know what that's called, but I guess like beneath the bridge, and you're just going to kind of keep slimming it and slimming it down until you're satisfied with the way the bridge of your nose looks. Next, I'm going to go under my nose, and I'm just going to apply that there. You want to make sure that you get the whole bottom of your nose so that you don't have, again, that just harsh line of brown, and this will just make your nose look slimmer from the bottom. Next, to give myself that button nose look, I'm just going to do a line right around there to further sculpt my nose into the shape that I want. To make my base last longer, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Stale Night Microfine Setting Mist. This one, it's a little bit more matte than the Hydro Grip one, so I prefer this one. You can use any setting spray you have, or technically, like, don't do this, but if you need to do this, you can do this. You can use hairspray. I wouldn't recommend it, however, I have done it in the past, and it does work. Personally, I drench my face in this, so I'm just gonna, yeah. You're going to want to let that dry before you apply any more face products like highlight, which we'll be doing next, so that the base makeup doesn't rub off underneath and leave you with random patches of exposed skin. So using the Megaglo highlighter from Wet n Wild, I'm literally just gonna, I use my finger. You can use a brush. I prefer to use my fingers. I feel like it's just more precise that way. And you're literally just gonna apply highlighter wherever you normally would. You can go a little heavier, you can do a little less, you can skip this altogether. It really depends for the look you're going for. I'm going for something a little less dramatic, so I am going to put in the shimmer. Some goths prefer a fully matte base, some prefer all of the glitter. It really just depends on your personal preferences because there's no one right way to do goth makeup. If you made it to this point, congratulations, you survived goth base makeup, and your base might look a little bit like this, it might look a little different. This is how I do it generally, and it stays on pretty well throughout the day. This palette, as you can tell by how well loved it is on the outside and the inside, this palette, Blowin Spoke by ColourPop, I think it's like $14, and ColourPop has sales pretty often. Holy grail for any type of alternative makeup. It's literally just all shades of gray and shimmers. And for this one, we're going to be taking the shade Starstruck. I mean, I prefer this. I love a little glitter. I think glitter makes everyone's life better. And I'm just going to put that on the inner part of my lid. I feel like this just does a little more. It just gives a little extra. And so you're literally just going to, I'm using my finger. You can use a brush. I prefer to use my fingers for a lot of my beauty routine. I feel like sometimes it just works better than a brush. It's a little more precise and leaves things a little more pigmented. Then you're literally just going to take Full Metal, the bottom one, and or you can just use 2 gray eyeshadows that are separate shades. You don't have to use this palette. That's the lovely thing. You can just use any light gray shimmer and medium gray shimmer, and you can just do that. And there you have it. You have an eye look. Well, that was not blended, but you have an eye look in like what, 20 seconds? Like, did you see how easy that was? The thing about alternative makeup is it doesn't have to be hard. It does not have to be difficult. You don't need to do all of the intricate designs and graphic liner for it to be considered alternative makeup. You just need to do what feels right for you. This is your reminder that your eyeliner does not have to be intricate. It can literally be just a plain simple wing. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with the plain simple wing, and I'm going to add details and show you guys how I do that. I'm literally just going in with the e.l.f. liner, the Expert Liquid Eyeliner, and that one works great for me. You can use the waterproof one if your eyes water or if you just want it to last longer. This one works for me, so that's what I'm going to use. It's hard for me to talk while I do eyeliner, but basically you're just going to see me draw a wing up and out and back in, and then fill that in. This is what I call the base wing. You can adjust it, lengthen it. You want to start smaller than what you want your final product to be, because as you go and fix it, it's going to get bigger. So you want to start with something small and simple and build your way up. So as you can see, I made this one thicker. The way that I did that was starting from the bottom of my lash line. I just made a line going straight up, and it looks a little crazy right now, but we'll fix it. So I'm going to do a little line like that, just kind of tapered towards the middle to make my eyes look bigger, and we're going to fill that in. So my preferred method for this is really any type of like white eyeliner of any kind. I prefer to use water activated ones. This one's beat up. This thing is well loved. And I take a little setting spray. I just do that. I take my little brush. You're going to swirl it around. And once you have the consistency that you like, you're going to carefully, because you don't want to get this in your eye, you're just going to do it under your lashes. You don't want to go towards the waterline. It's okay if it doesn't go fully up, that's fine. You want to focus on getting it on the skin and not in your eye. so that it looks like that. And then you're gonna do that on the other side. So I did this by drawing a line underneath. To add a little more pizzazz, you're just gonna take that same liner and you're gonna just drag it down a little like that. This is gonna give a little bit more of that edgy vibe to it and give it a little bit more of an angled look. Just like that. This is a little bit easier to do with a water activated eyeliner, however, you can still do it with a cream eyeliner. Next I'm going to go in with a felt tip liner because it's a bit more precise, or you can use a water activated eyeliner, and you're going to go underneath that line that you created with the white, and you're going to draw a little black line. Just with those two little lines, I feel like this kind of gives a little bit more of the specifically gothy vibe. If not, it's a little bit more dolly and a little bit more cutesy, and if that's what you like, then you can go for that, but this is something that I prefer to do. So we're going to draw little fake lashes underneath this simple little line. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that same liner. This one you're going to want to be waterproof if your ducts get watery so that it doesn't smudge and blur throughout the day and look muddy by the time you get home. So you're literally just going to take this and you're just going to draw down. Like that. You're going to do with this. My eyeliner pen just died on me, so we're going to use a different one. But what you want to do is you want to make them tapered to look like real eyelashes, how they get shorter towards the center. Like so. Next, you're going to take any top mascara for the top lashes because we're going to be going in with big lashes after this, and you're literally just going to coat your lashes with like 1 to 2 coats of mascara, enough to give them a little bit of tackiness and just, you know, to make them dark because they're probably powdery from the eyeshadow. You don't want your lashes to be completely bare when you apply false eyelashes ever, because then you can see the natural color of your eyelashes underneath. Your eyelashes are not usually pure black, so they don't blend together as seamlessly with the fake eyelash. So this is going to provide a little bit of grip for the fake lashes. They'll adhere to your natural lashes better, and it will also make it look a little bit more cohesive. If you're not using a quick dry lash glue, this is the time to apply your lash glue to your bands so that it can sit there and dry while you do the bottom mascara. So I'm going to be using a tubing mascara for my bottom lashes because I feel like it just does them justice a little more, and you're going to want to go heavy on this to give it more of that like extended, I guess, almost doll-like look. That's what I prefer. If you prefer something a little more dramatic, you can really use any mascara and change that out for eyeliner. You can change it out for eyeshadow if you prefer smoky. The thing about this look is you can kind of play around with it quite a bit and see what you like about it, what you don't, and change it to your preference. So for this specific look, what I do is I carefully brush the mascara wand with the product along my lash line to coat the hairs, and then I take the bottom portion, the actual bristles of the mascara, and I am just gonna carefully comb it through. And I feel like this gives it a little bit more of a spiky look and a little bit more of a doll-like look. I'm just gonna take a bit more black eyeshadow and go underneath over here and kind of intensifying what the lines already exist down there, just to give it a little bit more of a dramatic effect. As you can see, just that like minor detail makes a big difference, and I prefer the way that looks a little more, so that's what I'm gonna do. You can skip that part if you like. Once your lashes are set and completely dry, you are just going to apply them like regularly to your top lid. You can use tweezers for this if you don't feel confident using your hands. However, I've been wearing lashes for quite some time, so it's generally pretty easy for me. So just like that, 1, 2, 3, they are applied. I prefer spiky lashes because I feel like it gives more of, like I said, that kind of doll look, little animated look. You can use a little bit more dramatic ones, more fluffy ones, whatever really works for you and your eye shape. These work for me, so these are what I use, and you'll see the difference. And then the thing about applying the mascara earlier is now you can push up gently on your upper lashes and they will cling to your false lashes and they will blend together, and that will help them stay together throughout the day so that your makeup doesn't get ruined. I feel like the lip look is where you really get to have fun with this because you can do literally anything you want. I'm using just a regular gel liner and a angled brush, and I'm going to create angular lines on my lips for a more like pronounced lip. If you want to do like no Cupid's bow, you could do that. This is what I like to do because I feel like it just gives more of a goth vibe. So for black lipstick, you want to kind of be very careful with the way you're lining your lips, because black lipstick, when applied messy, it is very obvious that it applies messy other than like neutral lipsticks. So you want to make sure that you're making clean, precise lines. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and film it. As I said before, there's no one way to be goth. There's no one way to express yourself through goth style. There are many different aesthetics within the goth subculture, and there are plenty of things you can choose from. So this is my rendition of goth makeup. Yours might look a little different, and that's okay. Some people prefer a fully white base. Some people prefer a natural base. Some people prefer no base. Some people will do red lipstick instead of black on this, and I think that would look great. However, personally, I prefer black. There are many different ways to do goth makeup, and this is just my way of doing it. If you guys tried this out, I would love to know how it went for you. My Instagram is in the description, and hopefully I will have more videos coming out soon.